Hey guys, I wanted to address a very common sentiment that you should always save your team ultimates for your attack characters, and I actually think this is not correct, and I'm going to show you why. So if you want the conclusion of this, it's to please go and read through your character skill sets to see how to best utilize them. So as an example, let's first take a look at Ellen, and we can see that her ult has a damage multiplier of 2200 with no additional effects on her description, which is straightforward because she is an attack character. To compare, we're going to look at Lycaon here, who is a stun character, and if we look at his ult, we can see that he has a daze multiplier of about 1200, and to put in perspective, his entire charged basic chain, if you add these charged daze multipliers up, you get a value of around 450, and so his ult is worth around 2.5 times the daze output of that. This is actually significant because what you can do is you stun an elite or a boss, you do your DPS rotations, and then the moment it comes out of the stun, you pop Lycaon's out, and it's going to put a pretty huge burst of daze onto the enemy. Now my Lycaon is level 30 and I'm testing this on a level 40 Dalahan. It straight up went from 0 to 90 on the daze meter, after which, you could just hit it a little bit more and it goes into a second stun. And this means that you have a second damage window, but also a second period in which the enemy isn't actively trying to kill you. And now let's take a look at Rina, who is a support character, and we can actually see that her ultimate has 3 additional effects. First, it gives a team-wide 10 energy. Secondly, it gives the next character swap in an additional 20 energy. And third, it triggers a quick assist when it hits an enemy. And the quick assist being the small pop-up on the bottom right of your screen that swaps in your next character. And it's not just Rina, but all supports like Nicole and Sokaku have these 3 additional effects on their ults. And you might want to utilize these effects when you have a damage character who is very energy reliant, such as Anton here, who does most of his damage during his burst mode, which requires 40 energy to activate. You can see his damage multiplier significantly increase when he's in his burst mode, and he otherwise pretty much hits like a wet noodle. Moving on to our only defense character so far, our bear friend Ben Bigger. His ultimate actually recovers 3 assist points for your team, and this is on top of the base 3 that is normally recovered on using ultimates. So because your assist points max at 6 and Ben recovers 3 plus 3, which is 6, this is a 100% recovery of assist points on using his ult. This is quite significant because normally the bulk of your assist point recovery comes from chain attacks, which give 1 point per chain, and chain attacks require enemies to be stunned. And on elites and bosses, it typically requires a stun character. So if you catch where I'm leading to, I'm suggesting that potentially in some team comps, defense characters can replace stun characters. And these are team comps where you typically don't really need to stun enemies, and one such team comp I can think of is an Anomaly comp, which will very likely be 1 defense and 2 Anomaly characters. Now, speaking of Anomaly characters, we have 2 so far, Grace and Piper, and if we look at Grace first, we check out her ult and we can see that in her description she does not actually have any additional effects with her ult. And as for the numbers, they are also pretty average. So her ult doesn't look like it does anything special, and if you think a little bit more into this, it is quite understandable because Grace as an Anomaly unit wants to be proccing the electric anomaly, and she already does this very effectively without the use of her ult. So using her other parts of her kit as well as her core skills, it allows her to already proc the electric anomaly really fast. Piper on the other hand actually does have some mechanic regarding her ult, but you won't find it in her ult description or the numbers, you will find it in her core skill. And this is where she has this effect that grants her a stack of power every time her ultimate hits an enemy, which grants her additional physical anomaly build-up rate. And it is very relevant because obviously as an anomaly character she wants to build up the physical anomaly as fast as possible, and using her ult helps her do that, so there's an incentive to use an ult on Piper. So for our two Anomaly characters, I want to say that their ults will probably be used for Anomaly build-up, which fits thematically, but at the moment only Piper fits this description. Grace doesn't really want to be using her ult, you probably want to use another teammate's ult instead, and so we will have to wait for another Anomaly character to release in order to see whether this trend continues. So now knowing all of this, let's go back and take a look at Ellen. And if you remember her damage multiplier of 2200, you realize that, hang on, Lycaon has a damage multiplier of 2000, which is not that far off from Ellen's, and he has his extremely high days multiplier to boot. Rina, at the same ult level, actually has a higher damage multiplier than Ellen's, and she has her additional effects that come along with the ultimate. So does that mean I should not be using my ult on Ellen? And the answer to that is obviously no. You can use your ult on Ellen if you want damage. Why? Because Ellen is an attack character and you will be building her for attack. You will be equipping her with a W engine and drive discs with set effects that are more suited to damage. You will also be buffing her with buffs from your other supports. And you will also be popping her out during the boss stun timer, which has a minimum of 150% damage multiplier. So what I'm trying to say is this damage number does not tell the full story of how much damage Ellen is actually going to do with her ult when you decide to use it. So now, quick recap to conclude this video. First, attack characters do big damage, but that doesn't mean you should only ult on your attack characters because other ults have effects that can be beneficial depending on situation. Second, stun character ults do big days, so use after an enemy has just recovered from stun to get it back into stun faster. Third, support character ults give energy and triggers quick assist, so pair with an energy reliant character. Fourth, defense character ults recover max assist points and removes reliance on chain attacks and thus your stun characters. And last, Anomaly character ults, not sure, need more info. And that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please let me know. If I missed out something or got something wrong, also do share it with me. And please keep a lookout for my next video currently in the works, which is on swap tech. Bye!